Hello and welcome. I am your host, Super Dude. This is a brand new series I'm bringing to my channel. How I roll. That's just how I roll, something like that. This is going to be a Let's Play series focused on role-playing games. One of my favorite, especially like classic old-style role-playing games. And so to start this out, I have the first in the Dragon Age series, Dragon Age Origins. A wonderful game from BioWare back when they made wonderful strategy games. Dragon Age Origins is sort of like one of the original dark fantasy role-playing games. I mean, there have always been dark fantasy role-playing games, but this one really captured and brought in a lot of the ideas that would then go on into other role-playing games. It's a pretty fun one. So we're gonna go ahead and play Dragon Age Origins as loading. Loading. So yeah, this one I remember playing this in middle school. And so is the Golden City blackened. With each step you take in my hall, marvel at perfection, for it's fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon the world. Canticle of Threnodies, 813. Basically, in the lore, there's this grand city where the gods live.
The chantry teaches
Here we go.
that it is the hubris of men which brought the darkspawn into our world.
And people tried to go to that city.
Mages had sought to usurp heaven.
Yeah, describing it right here.
Instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed.
Oof.
It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. It may even be too late, for I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Yeah, so chills. Pretty cool. opening sequence sort of explains the world. So yeah, this is like a Tolkien-esque fantasy world. You have elves and dwarves and humans and whatnot. However, in this world, the wizards tried to reach into the heavens, go to like the holy city that the gods lived in, and as soon as they stepped over, they became cursed and corrupted, turned into these darkspawn. So the darkspawn became these like evil, sort of like halfway between zombies and orcs. They're like these corrupted beings that spread out in hordes and retake the land. The darkspawn show up during times called like blights, and they're really bad times. They are led by massive archdemons that are like big blight dragons, and so whenever the blights appear, it's because of the age of the world has entered into an age of dragons, a dragon age, if you will. And that's just good world building. So here we go. The background you select will determine which of the 6 distinct opening stories you play through. It also affects how characters respond throughout the game. You guys are going to see, as I play more of this role-playing series, that I am kind of basic. So we have all these different choices, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of want to be a human fighter. It's just how I roll, you know? In other series, I will branch out and play different characters, but I just always I like the idea of this like heroic knight fighting against the blight. I think that will make for a good story. And now we have our face here that we can sort of change around. We can be nice and dark, maybe a little more caramel rather than chocolate. Weird tattoos. I always found it weird that like everyone in fantasy games has face tattoos. But let's start with the hair. The hair in games always has like a huge effect on what your character looks like, and I think it's a good place to start is finding the hair that you want before you do the rest of the face. And for this character, we're gonna go with like a real mop. He's gonna have long, luscious hair. Oh man. Maybe like that. Oh, with the rat tail. There we go. Just a small ponytail. That should work out. And wow, that beard actually makes him look rather distinguished. But if I remember correctly, we aren't supposed to be like, this is our origin story. So we don't want to be too distinguished. Maybe can we do like mutton chops? That's definitely a look. Oh wow, it's quite the beard. Let's see. Make it a little darker. That's definitely not the look I want to go for. Let's just do that with the stubble. We're gonna make the skin just a little darker, and here we are. That should be good. Let's see what we can't do about this jaw. Sort of fill out the cheeks just a smidgen. Don't want like square jawed, but that looks a little better to me. Oh. Suck it all in. Have a real weak chin. That is far too low. Okay, how pointy can we get these ears? Move them up. Oh yeah. Now those are ears. That's kind of too thin of a neck. That's like a little big, and then like kind of unable to support the head. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. It's not too much different from the start, but here I'm gonna see if can we sort of change the tip just a little. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now we have a voice to pick.
I have lost the spell.
How do you do?
Greetings. No, it is. I must try another tactic.
I don't think mystical or wise.
Charmed, I'm sure. Ah, there went. This weapon does nothing.
Nah, no. How about experienced?
Well, that didn't work. Well, this is hard. My weapon. Move aside.
It's a little too
How do you do?
dark.
Right, casting, focus. New weapon. Scoot.
Greetings. Blasted! I've lost. This weapon does nothing. Greetings. No, it is gone.
Yeah, I guess we'll go with wise. All right. So we have our wise character, and now this is built heavily off of old role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. So we have our different stats here: strength, dexterity, willpower, cunning, and constitution, and each one of these in some way affects our character. So we're a melee character, so strength is really important. Dexterity, strength. Strength is a measure of physical prowess. High strength is essential for warriors. That's us, especially if they wish to wield two-handed weapons, and is nearly as critical for rogues. Then we have dexterity. It's a measure of agility. It affects things like being able to dodge and boost damage for piercing weapons like daggers and arrows. It is especially used with archery and dual-wielding weapon styles. But that's not actually that important for us. Can we drop any of these stats below starting? No. So we aren't going to put anything in dexterity for right now. Willpower represents a character's determination and mental fortitude, though a high will mages can cast more spells thanks to a deeper mana pool. For warriors and rogues, will grants more stamina. And then we have magic, which affects spell casting. Not that important for us. It also affects potions, so it's good to have a smidgen. Cunning determines how well a character learns and reasons. Most skills, such as herbalism or combat tactics, require a quick mind to master, and an observant eye can more easily find weaknesses in an enemy's armor. Rogues benefit the most from this, so we aren't going to worry too much. Constitution, I think we're going to be a sword and board hero. Or actually, let's be a two-handed guy. So Constitution will be kind of higher. So I'm going to put 2 in Constitution and 3 in Strength. So we are a very strong and sturdy guy. Let's actually put 1 in Willpower rather than all there. Now we have skills. So we start out with combat training and improved combat training. Now we could go up to expert combat training. This character has seen more battles and is a seasoned warrior, soldier. They get a bonus to attack. Warriors and rogues gain access to third tier weapon talents. Mages can take more damage, etc. Other possible things would be poison making, not really important for our character. Like that's kind of a roguish thing. Herbalism is roguish, survival, trap making, stealing, coercion. All of those are roguish. Combat tactics is the other one. And combat tactics, like, I'm trying to remember. I think that the only use that combat tactics has is giving more tactic slots to AI, which is really useful for building interesting AI. But considering that we are going to be playing as our character mostly, I'm going to put it into weapons training. So we are a master with the sword. Now we have 2 talents that we get. So there's powerful. Through training and hard work, the warrior has gained greater health and reduced the fatigue penalty for wearing armor. And precise strike. So this is a passive, active ability. And then we have dual wielding tree. We don't care about archery tree. We don't care about weapon and shield. We don't care about. Down here we have two-handed, which is what we care about. And these all require a lot of strength. So I think we're going to go with, to start out with, powerful, so that we're more effective in armor. It reduces our fatigue and penalty for wearing armor. We're not going to have a shield, and we're a frontline fighter, so we want the most out of our armor that we can get. And then here we have a choice. So Mighty Blow. The character puts extra weight and effort behind a single strike, getting a bonus to attack. If he hits, the blow deals critical damage and imposes a penalty to movement and speed unless the target passes a physical resistance check. So this takes... we activate it, and if we hit, we are more likely to hit, and if we do hit, it guarantees a critical. Pretty nice. It also slows down the enemy. Conversely, we can go for Pommel Strike. Instead of going for fatal attacks, the player strikes out with a weapon's blunt end, knocking the opponent to the ground unless it passes a physical resistance check. This is also really interesting. Now, I'm going to try to build our main character towards damage for this run. Actually... So I'm cross. I think I'm going to try to build them towards damage. Did I rename my character? I completely forgot to do that. We don't want him to be named Aiden. We want him to have a unique name. Which I will think of. But, so I want this character to be, like, heroic. So I was thinking about building for straight damage, but actually, so my companions, I can build other characters to focus on, setting status effects, while I do damage. But actually, I think that rogues can get higher damage, than, warriors can, two-handed warriors, because rogues can critical farm, go fishing for criticals, that's it. So I think I'm actually going to go with the Pommel Strike, just starting out. And that will probably make some earlier areas a little easier. And I can explain what that does. We need a name. A heroic name. A vengeful name, a proud name, or a classic name. This is a name that I use for a lot of my fighter characters. This was the first character that I played in D&D who was a human fighter. I wonder why I like playing human fighters. So I will name him Menoth. And in D&D, he was Menoth the Wise. So we'll put a point in willpower to show his wisdom. Which actually works out because we took the wise voice trait. Now, I wish we could get rid of this shield bash. It automatically starts you with shield bash, which is silly. We aren't going to be using a shield. I'm so cross between this. We can come back and get the other one later. Okay. Now we set difficulty. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I like normal because I'm a normal guy. And once we hit OK, we should begin. So, I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to end the episode here. This will be my episode 0. Just sort of setting up the game and showing you guys what happens. So I'll see you next in episode 1 for the actual start of this campaign. Alright. This is Super Dude signing off, as always reminding you to be excellent.